Here I'm going to graph this equation. The first step is to identify any restrictions to the domain. What can x not equal? If you are given an equation that is a fraction like this, a rational equation, you need to remember that the denominator of a fraction cannot equal 0. So x minus 3 cannot equal 0. So I'm just going to solve that by adding 3 to both sides, and I can see then that x cannot equal 3. That is my restriction. Now I'm going to rewrite my equation and I'm going to factor my numerator. So if I look at that, I'm going to change it into a multiplication problem. And I'm looking for two numbers that multiply to give us the last term. So multiply to give us -6 and add to be that middle term, which is -1. So if I go through my different options, I see that it's -3 and +2. -3 times 2 is -6, and -3 plus 2 is -1. And my denominator is still x minus 3. Now I'm going to take a look at this and see if anything can cancel out. So if you look at my example here, I say, like for example, if you have x minus 4 divided by x minus 4, anything divided by itself, even if it's x minus 4, anything divided by itself is 1. So if you notice something that is in the numerator and also in the denominator, you can cancel it out. So in this case, x minus 3 divided by x minus 3 is 1. So what I'm left with is y equals x plus 2. And in this case, I don't even need these parentheses anymore. It's just y equals x plus 2. And this is what I am going to graph. Now I say here in step 4, is it a dashed line or a solid line? This is an equation, so it is going to be a solid line. It's equals. If it was an inequality, let's say it was less than, then I would do a dashed line. If it was less than or equal to, I would do a solid line. So if it's equal to, you always do a solid line. So this is in slope-intercept form. Remember, slope-intercept form is y equals mx plus b. So b is our y-intercept, and in this case, our y-intercept is 2. So I'm going to put a dot here at 2. And my slope is what's in front of my x. In this case, it's 1. Slope you always think of as a fraction. So 1 over 1. Slope is how much you rise over how much you run. So I'm going to go up 1 over 1, up 1 over 1. So up 1 over 1. Kind of sketch what our graph is going to look like, or you could go down 1 to the left 1. This is a positive slope, so it's going to be going up from left to right. So this is my graph of x plus 2, y equals x plus 2. But I need to identify my restriction. I need to put an open circle where the domain is restricted. Remember, x cannot equal 3. So here x equals 3. So at x equals 3, there's not going to be an answer. So right there on the graph, at x equals 3, I'm going to have an open dot. The rest of the graph is there, the rest of the line is there, but right there at x equals 3, I'll have an open circle. There's no value for y when x is 3. And so that would be my graph.